Hello guys, we all know this world would have been a much better place if Putin was in prison. And now we have a real chance because he's traveling to Mongolia, and Mongolia is the country that has signed the Rome Statute and must follow the demands of the International Criminal Court. In 2023, this court issued an order to arrest Putin for stealing Ukrainian children and bringing them to Russia, changing their identities, and actually committing one of the parts of what United Nations considers a genocide. Will Putin be arrested in Mongolia? Most likely no, and that is a serious problem because perhaps one of the main reasons why he actually travels to this country is to demonstrate to his evil partners and the rest of the world that rules do not work, and he continues breaking international agreements. Let me tell you more about this visit, why it is important, and what it actually means for the future of the world. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe to see Russia defeated and also to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine and all people who actually respect democracy and international rules. So now one of many doubles of Putin is traveling to Mongolia to commemorate the victory of the Second World War. As you may guess, of course, the victory in the Second World War is important, but it is definitely not the reason for Putin's visit. He wants to demonstrate the world that International Criminal Court is nothing, his order of arrest is nothing, and after Mongolia, he will travel to more countries that were previously afraid to invite him. For example, recently, he wanted to travel to South Africa, and South Africa is also a signature of the Rome Treaty, Rome Statute, and it had to arrest Putin. And the president of South Africa really did not know what to do because he was afraid to say no to Russia, claiming this may be a reason for war. Why? And second, he did not want to offend the rules, international rules. That's why Putin decided not to travel to South Africa, and they started looking for, unfortunately, a more dependent on Russia country. And Mongolia was chosen as the one. 100%, he does not need this visit. He wants to demonstrate the world that rules do not work. Okay, there is an International Criminal Court order. Okay, Putin is guilty of war crimes, but there is nothing you can do. Doesn't that remind you of a classical bully behavior? And don't you think this is a very big problem of modern democracies? That from one point of view, we do understand what we are standing for, we follow the rules, but we don't have enough instruments to punish those war criminals, those brutal murderers like Putin and classical bullies of the international law with the instruments that we have. We are too kind, we are too tolerant, and this is the real reason of his visit to Mongolia, unfortunately. All eyes on this country. The European Union addressed the country of Mongolia. Lots of media that I was looking through, including BBC, was trying to find a reaction, addressed embassies of Mongolia in their countries, but received no answer. Of course, the president of this country understands it's going to be a very nervous stay, but he is super dependent on Russia. He has no other choice, and very likely they will create a very dangerous, very poisonous precedent. Subscribe to see Putin arrested because sooner or later this will happen, and I'm sure we will discuss that on the channel with some wine. Because that will definitely be worth a good celebration. But right now, at least we have to react to this visit of Putin's to Mongolia when he totally does not need that. All of his country is on fire. Yesterday, a huge, massive attack, 16 Russian regions was visited by the Ukrainian drones that destroyed a number of military objects and oil refineries there. Kursk operation continues. So he has so many troubles inside Russia, but he actually wants to travel to celebrate something. This is insane. You know, there is a saying in the Russian language that unfortunately I know because of this crazy Russification that many Ukrainian and Soviet schools went through, that to describe someone totally crazy and inadequate in his relation to the world, when like he has too many troubles and he does not think about that, or he does not have enough money, but he lives a very posh life. So this proverb states like, without pants, literally underwear, but in a hat. So that's exactly what Putin is right now, without pants, but in a hat. He makes his visit to Mongolia to humiliate The Hague, to humiliate the International Criminal Court, and once again to humiliate all those international agreements that generations of clever democratic people were developing to help this world survive. So many different opinions, so many different religions, and so on. From what I've managed to find out, the president of Mongolia was a former leader of the party that was something like a communist party back in the Soviet times, and Mongolia was very dependent on Soviet Union, and that's why they don't ask questions. The dictator told them he wants to visit, and then he visits. Insane. Subscribe to see Russia defeated. This will happen because bullies do not live and work long. Putin has crossed too many lines, and even if some leaders, if some institutions are too weak to react, in general, I do believe that rules, democracies win. Because that's the way this world should operate. And I really like the idea of the leaders of Taiwan who addressed China, saying that if you want more territories, you better take some from Russia. And honestly, guys, this is such a perfect chance. Japan, China, Norway, many other beautiful countries like Germany. Russia has taken so many from you. All of their troops right now are in Ukraine or trying to get back the territories in Kursk. Think about that. Think about the return of real rules and laws, because all we want is legitimate borders of 1991. And I'm sure sometime soon people in Russia will want that too. But at this moment, Putin continues pretending that he can break all the rules he wants. And this is not good. Today, Ukraine celebrates the Day of Wisdom, the Day of Knowledge as we call it, because the majority of schools and universities open their doors. This night was very loud in my country, with lots of ballistic missiles targeted on the capital, and it's insane to see these beautiful photos of Ukrainian children wearing vyshymankas for their first day at school after sleepless night that many of them spent in the underground. Just think about that. One more reason to help us defeat Russia. Believe me, we can do that. And I'm happy to learn more about the developments of the Ukrainian ballistic missiles, where Ukrainian drones that are capable to burn Russian ammunition, and many more. Let me know in the comments below, would you like a separate video on that? And also, I would be happy and grateful to read your versions why International Criminal Court will not, like, how do you think they will react, and why Mongolia will not arrest Putin? What reasons they can fake to ignore international agreements? And it's always, always bad. Believe me, because the world is so fragile, and only if we operate by the rules that we have decided upon before, only then we can survive. I will be happy to return back home. Honestly, I'm still on my business trip, but it's in this final part in a very beautiful country. And I will share more with you this Saturday when I'm back home, and I'm inviting you for our live at 9 p.m. Kyiv time. My beautiful moderators agreed to join the team. And join me on Instagram, also on X, Threads, and Discord. I'm very active there. Help me build our community stronger on these social platforms. It is important. Not enough information about Ukrainian resilience, and we also need support in debunking Russian narratives. Please always leave your questions in the comments below. I read them attentively. Check our merch shop. It has lots of beautiful items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about Ukraine. And all the links that you need are in the description of this video. Thank you so much for buying me coffees, becoming sponsors and patrons of this channel, and helping me grow, learn, work more. There are lots of interesting projects to come, you know. Autumn is coming, and autumn is always a season of wisdom. So I'm hugging you, all of my partners, all of my patrons, all of my buy me coffee people like this cushion. Am I right? Is it a good word to say? And most importantly, thank you for standing with Ukraine, for all the conversations that you hold, for your work, for people you address, for people you persuade. Together we will definitely win. Slava Ukraini!